Good morning. Welcome to the Words of Hope. This is Velasquez, your host, and today our topic is about enduring life's trials. Human suffering has been around since the expulsion of Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden in Genesis chapter 3, verses 16 to 19. The causes are many: sin, accident, illnesses, wars, violation of natural laws, hatred, persecution, jealousy, betrayal of confidence, and others. All people experience it to some degree and in various ways. There is no escaping from these trials in this life. Some people are overcome by it, some are embittered by it, and some become stronger through it. How suffering affects us is determined by our understanding of it and by our response to it. Though we may not always know the specific condition or causes of sufferings, there is considerable understanding available to us, and it can help us immensely in our facing our own life's trial. A major source of suffering is the devil's work. Remember that Job's affliction came from Satan and were a test of Job's faith. Remember that the suffering of Elijah, Micaiah, and Jeremiah is the work of the enemies of the Lord. And James said in James chapter 5 verse 10, "My brethren, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord as an example of sufferings and patience." If we consider a trial or suffering, the trial or a suffering as the test of our faith, and if we are determined that we will not allow it to defeat us, we can learn the precious and necessary lesson of patience through it. That is why James said, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience." James chapter 1 verses 2 to 3. Because of understanding, Peter and John could rejoice when they had been jailed and beaten for preaching Christ in the book of Acts chapter 5 verse 41. Sickness and death are often hard to understand, and many times people blame God or sometimes themselves. The death of Job's children was the work of Satan. It was not because of any sin of Job, nor was it his fault. The blindness of the man in the book of John chapter 9 was not the result of his sin or the sin of his parents, but it served as a useful purpose, that God's work may be manifested. Whether sickness or death is caused by one's own misdoing or by an unknown source, one can turn that stone of trial into a stepping stone by gaining a stronger faith and greater determination and patience. Rather than viewing life as a struggle that we are ultimately going to lose, we ought to view life as a struggle that we must and are going to win, even in death itself. There is only one way that we can win the struggle of life. That way is through the strength of the Lord. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 10 to 20. Only by our properly preparing ourselves through humble submission and obedience to God can we expect to be victorious. That includes godly living and faithful worship and service to Him. If we want to be united with the faithful of all ages when our lives are finished, we must prepare to meet our God, that we will stand before Him in judgment, and that is certain that we can hear Him say, "Well done," is also certain we can be more than conquerors through Him who loved us. Romans chapter 8, 35 to 37. The decision of whether we win or lose is ours. God has made that possible. The question is, what will you do with your life? Are you gonna be bitter, or you will be better through life's struggle? So there you have it. God bless you. Until next time. God bless you. Shalom.